Hey, welcome to a new season of our book club review. We're so excited you joined us today. And if you haven't already, subscribe and also go to YouTube, Al Thomas Official website, and put in your name, phone number, and email address for any upcoming things we're going to be putting out there that you want to know about. So thank you so much. Man, we're so excited about the book tonight. We're going to be reviewing the book called Beach Money. Beach Money. And I know some of you heard the first book. This is the first edition. Beach Money came out, but we're going to be reviewing this one, Beach Money. So if you want to go out and get it, we'll put a little something in the tab so you can go out and order the book from my dear friend of mine, Mr. Jordan Allen. Tonight, we got a great call lined up. We got a great cast of people going to share what they got out of the book. We're going to start off from Sacramento, Miss Kathleen Williams. Good evening, dear.
Good evening, sir.
You look wonderful. Look wonderful.
Thank
I
you.
Look forward to seeing Orlando this weekend. Miss.
Looking forward to seeing you too, sir.
Thank you. Miss Jackie Black, are you out there? From Connecticut.
Good evening, Mr. Thomas. Yes, I am. Good evening, all.
Beautiful smile. And also, we also got calling in from, I don't know what part of Texas she's in today because she's all over Texas, Miss Roxanne Corleo.
Good evening, everybody. I'm in San Antonio, Texas today.
Oh, she's just had a birthday last week and she's been out having a lot of fun. So we thank her for joining us today. And last and certainly not least, out of Fresno, California, Mr. Harrison Mills. Good evening, sir.
Hello, how are you?
Good having you on here. Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Maria Estrada from Arizona checking in. We see people on there from India and a couple of people on from Ireland. Wow, Ireland. Thank you for being on the call tonight, as well as people in the UK. Well, listen, we got a great book we're doing tonight. Everybody's got the book up. You see my little tabs here. I've been taking notes and everything. So let's dive right into Beach Money, the edition, Creating Your Dream Life Through Network Marketing by my dear friend, Jordan Allen, one of my 21 millionaires that helped. All right, we're going to start off with the first part of Beach Money. He talks about service. He says Beach Money serves the roadmap of creating long-term success in network marketing. And one of the things he talked about, he says to take action. It's a twofold situation. He says to be a call to action to people who read it, ignite and inspire, and is offering guidance. He says to touch the lives of even more people by directing the book, Sales Profit, to an exceptional cause. So he wrote the book and he's giving the money away for other people. In other words, for a donation to help a charity of causes that help people understand the industry of network marketing. What do you guys say about that? Let's start off with Miss Williams.
That is very true, and it totally supports the idea of always paying it forward.
Yeah, always paying it forward. You know, he also talks back here that he's giving loans out. He says also giving small loans to outstanding entrepreneurs and also people that are starting businesses, and he wants to empower them by doing this, by giving out small loans. What was your take on that, Miss Black?
Well, I truly, with Mr. Jordan Adler, with giving back to the community, you have to always think of, as Catherine said, paying it forward. You can't always be grabbing and getting. You have to give. And the way that he gives with a nonprofit organization and helping those entrepreneurs with loans, and the people are paying back the loans. And as they pay the loans back, other people are able to get loans as well. So I really found that very good in terms of what he's doing. And it touches the lives of many people. And as you see when we go through this book, it's just very good.
Good. What do you have to say about that, Miss Roxanne?
Well, as an entrepreneur myself, even before network marketing, I mean, loans are definitely important to get everything rocking and rolling and started. So he recognized that in his process throughout network marketing alone, that this is something that can just help entrepreneurs in general to get out of that workforce, to get out of that grind, that 9 to 5, and to make that beach money. So I love his foresight on that and helping other people, even just outside of network marketing, because that's what we're here for, just to help individuals.
Yeah, so true. Mr. Harrison Mills, what do you have to say about that?
Love, anyone that knows Jordan Allard, honestly, that's not surprising that he would do something like this. It's giving something else to someone else. And it's another way of connecting with him. It's almost like a trademark. He puts basically something as a coach and say, hey, look at what I'm doing. What should you do?
Yeah.
What should you do? You want to give him that market and that same thing. So I appreciate him just for doing that and for looking at others. It puts basically as a sense, what should I be doing? Also in a way of paying forward, not just watching him, but also that makes me want to participate.
Yeah, that's a good point. As I remember back, Jordan has been in so many different network marketing companies, never made any money. And I remember when he first started making money, we'll talk about that later, but this second book goes into more detail of stuff that he did once he started making money. The first book was about the struggles he went through, but now this book is more updated on what he's doing. Hey, I'd like to thank my dear friend Lance out there from Houston, Texas, Inside Real Estate. He's got a podcast out there too about real estate in Houston. Thank you for joining, Lance. Thank you, my friend. Dale Ranson up in Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you for joining as well, sir. We see Freddie Sherman in Ohio. Thank you for joining. God bless you all. Thank you so much. Ms. Sharia Estrada in Arizona. Thank you. I'm going to run this way. In the second, the last paragraph in the book there, he says, so far over 300,000 has been loaned through the efforts of the Giving Project. And what happens was that they paid the loan back. He just continued recycling the money back and then giving it to micro loans to people who are trying to start a business. Because one of the things about being successful, we talk about giving back, but it's actually giving because we never took anything, but we're just giving. And one of the things that he has a great heart about, and I've been knowing him for a long time and watched him start from nothing. And remember back in California, we were for our first network marketing company, and he got his basic training there. So what do you think about what we just talked about, the 300,000 return to people that he put out there in loans, Ms. Williams?
And since I know about the previous book with the same title, my guess is this figure may be a little updated versus the previous one. It's a small amount when you think of the overall, when you think of an entrepreneur starting a business, this is like dropping a tiny pebble in the ocean. You could drop a boulder in the ocean and you wouldn't get the ripple effect that this was getting. Yeah.
He talked about this book was updated since Beach Money was first established in 2008. This one here, 2008, it sold over 500,000 copies. That's 500,000 copies, and continues to sell 3,000 to 8,000 copies a month. So ladies and gentlemen, yes, go get the copy. It's a great book for network marketing. It's a great book for business, period. So with that said, what do you have to say, Miss Jackie Black?
I totally agree, Mr. Thomas, in terms of getting this book and reading it, because it's truly a help in terms of network marketing. And when you know what the proceeds goes to, that's what makes it even more profound for myself. And looking at how many, the goal of 1 million copies being sold, I'm like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
And being a small part of that.
Yeah, and he gives it all back out to the community, guys. I mean, we talk about generosity. That's one of my biggest things about people, generosity. That's why he's so blessed, because it's generosity. Miss Roxanne?
I think what he's doing too is he's setting an example for others to follow in their footsteps. When I purchased mine, I purchased two, because I don't want this information for myself. I want to share it with other people as well. And I shared what we were doing with book club to other people so they can get their own copies also. So he just sets that standard and sets that example of just giving back to the community, giving back to people, because the knowledge we consume it's not meant for us. It's for us to deliver it to other people. So, I mean, it just incentivized me to do more and get other people to read this book also.
Yeah, pay it forward. I know when I get a book from somebody that I know, I usually buy a dozen, and I give them to my leaders, or people that I respect, to people that earn the free copy, and that's a blessing. And that's what I love about the generosity. And that's how you build up the giving that kind of money back out into the community. Mr. Harrison Mills, what do you want to share?
So much to say. One, this is one of my favorite books. So I'm thankful for the person that did give me a copy and have me go through the next thing. Of course, I'm going to pay it forward. Anyone that's going to be partnering with me, this is like a must read. Just read it. It's just one of those things. The other thing about him is that he just went on his Instagram talking about how he started Beach Money, that just the trademark Beach Money, like basically put it in a personal newspaper ad and saying, hey, he went and said, hey, who wants to make money? but then he put the word beach money, and all of a sudden, poof, everyone's coming. Like, who wouldn't want beach money? Who doesn't?
Yeah.
It just piques your interest.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. So true. Miss Rutherford, thank you so much for chiming in today out there. Thank you, dear. I'm going to go flip it over next page, number 3. We're going to go. He says, the only thing I can tell you that is better than beach money, he said, is better than beach money. And he said, yes. Well, here's where the new book got its name. It's better than beach money. You can learn more about my new book and go to www.beachmoney.com. And like I said, here's the first book that came out, but it's better than beach money. And I tell you what, it's amazing, amazing, amazing. So with that said, Ms. Williams, what do you want to share your light on that one?
The fact that both this book and Better Than Beach Money is the way he come up with the names for the book. It was just like somebody asked him what the book title was going to be, and it was like, oh, Beach Money or Better Than Beach Money. And having read them both, Better Than Beach Money is fantastic.
Yeah, yeah. And I tell people out there, folks, get both books, because the one book was 2008, and then the other book was updated. And I tell you what, there's new stuff in the new one. That's why you got to get both books, I would say. Miss Black, what would you want to chime in on?
I totally agree that you should have both. Unfortunately, I just have the second one, but I'm getting a lot out of it. And when you think of beach money, and as we go into our discussion, what beach money is, you'll say, oh, I never thought of it that way. And you'll just truly enjoy it.
Yeah. I like the idea that it is, he says on, the short note from the author, says, the book was written for you out there around the world. I purposely have not had it professionally edited. Watch this. Why did he do that? Here's why. Because I want it to be read as it is, as if you have a personal conversation with me. And that is so important, to have that personal conversation. I want to thank Mr. Adrian O'Neill here in Las Vegas. Thank you, sir, for being on the call tonight. Miss Roxanne, what do you want to?
Yeah, I mean, every conversation we have with people, it shouldn't be scripted. It shouldn't be edited. And that's what we're doing with AI. AI is so big out there, but so many people are even using it in their responses to their mom or saying happy birthday. It's not coming from the heart. So I commend him for doing something like that, because that is scary. It is scary not to have someone review and make sure it's perfect. And that's the best thing about it, is sometimes the best things aren't perfect. You just got to get it out there. So
Yeah.
I like that. And it just reminds me that just, hey, go out there and do it. And it's not going to be perfect right away. You just got to improve to get it there.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. I'm going to read something else before I go to you, Mr. Mills. He says, but I didn't need to feel like the book was smart enough. I wanted to show people how to create a large passive residual income through network marketing. Mr. Mills.
He wanted to give us him. One, he's a good editor. Let me first say that, because to not have that in there. And let me also set something straight. So there's the first book, Beach Money. Then there's the second edition, Beach Money. And then there's Better Than Beach Money. Okay. And the reason why I'm putting that out there is because I actually purchased the wrong book, right? The first time we were going to read this. So I've been reading I read Beach Money all the time. I didn't get the second edition. I got Better Than Beach Money, which I say it was the best mistake I have made. Now, let me tell you, that book was so almost like how I say with you, when you partner with you, you show us, how to make money, but you also show us how to keep the money. In this book here, Beach Money, he's teaching you how to make the money, but then on the Better Than Beach Money, he shows you how to change your perspective of money, how to change it. Change the way that you look at things, remove that background, and now look forward and watch what you can do. So it kind of puts you in these little certain things, kind of like atmospheres. And I'm just like, every time I'm like, wow, I'm like, get out of my head. You don't know me.
That's good. Thank you, sir. I want to talk about number 5. He was thanking his mom and dad for loving him. And he didn't listen to him, but because he had an idea. I mean, a lot of times in network marketing, we all get discouraged. I mean, this guy's been through 13, 14 companies, and discouragement. People discouraged. Why trying to know? Why trying to know? Because he wanted to. What if he never did keep going until he succeeded? And this is a big thing for you folks out there. Your parents are going to discourage you. Some of your friends are going to discourage you. You got to keep going, because sometimes it's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. He talked about he also want to thank Jackie and his Julie for being there for him in the real estate world. He want to thank his sister Audrey and Donna. And another big one of our billionaire mentor is Kenny Trout and Lisa Trout. I mean, that was huge because that was one of the billionaires that trained me as I was going through network marketing, and has done very well. And he also wants to thank a couple other people, Steve Smith, which was our vice president at the time, for showing me what it means to dream big and to keep it simple. I mean, that man kept everything simple. When he did a presentation, he would use sugar, those little sugar bags. This get one of these, and he put 2 blue ones, and money would come back. I mean, that was his presentation. He kept it real simple. Miss Kathleen Williams, you want to chime in on this?
I like the fact that what you just said about how he kept it simple and how he trained others to keep it simple. Because as we become adults, we figure out a way how to make 1 and 1, not 2, but something else, because we can't figure out how to add it. We have to add 3 complications to it.
Yeah, that's so true. Guy broke his fingernail. By the time I got around the block, about 4 people said it, and now he broke his arm off. Everybody has to add more to it than what's there. Just keep it simple. Miss Jackie Black.
Well, I find that one part he said about he was given a foundation of leadership, and he was thankful for that by some of the people that he gave a thank you to when he said, I want to thank you for the foundation of leadership, for keeping it simple, and for those examples of integrity. We have that as well, Mr. Thomas, through you, giving us that foundation of leadership, giving us that integrity that we have to maintain at all times and pass to others. And Mr. Adler's doing the same thing as well.
Mm-hmm. Great. Thank you, dear. Miss Roxanne?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't want to skip over that part that you had mentioned, that he had tried several network marketing companies and just stayed consistent. He didn't let other people talk him out of it. And one of the things that he did say is that he started getting a bunch of different similar responses of, oh, is this one of those pyramid schemes? You just joined another pyramid scheme. Like, I don't want any part of that. And just going back and thinking about my first start in network marketing, and someone did tell me that, it rolled off my back. I didn't care. But what it did is it added fuel to my fire. And I said, you know what? I'm going to prove them wrong. Like, I didn't get discouraged by it the same way he didn't. And I love that, seeing where he is now after 10 years of no results. I mean, it just gives me hope to where I'm going to be in the future. And I absolutely love that.
And people don't realize, because he kept going, he is the number 1 independent agent in his network marketing company. And he's the number 1 person. He's the number 1 guy. He's at the top of his company at this point for the last few years. He's the top guy. But like I said, he went through the muck, the mire, the broken glass, the barbed wire. Guys, if it was easy, everybody would do it. And most people want to discourage you anyway, because they don't want to see you succeed, because they're not succeeding in life. So therefore, they don't want you to succeed in life. Miss Harrison Mills, before I go on, on page, I'm going to go to the next page. He talked about Russ. As a matter of fact, one of my colleagues at that company, well, 4 of us were handpicked to be what they call presidential directors, and Russ is one, and he just recently passed away. God bless his soul. And he talked about Megan J. Smith for believing in him and being the greatest example of integrity that he ever knew. And that's so true. He thought Bob and Betty Angola, who are dear friends of mine too, for opening the house up to him, for being the perfect friend. He talked about Jimmy Dick for encouraging him, for stretching beyond his imposed limitation. As a matter of fact, some of you remember last night on the spot, I called Jimmy Dick yesterday. I hadn't talked to him in decades, and we went on for a few minutes. Some of you guys were privy to that call. Then he says, I want to thank Mr. Al Schreiter for the book. And Al Schreiter's books are so simple books. His books are called the Big Al books. Al, his name is Tom, but he goes by Tom Schreiter, but he goes by Big Al. And his books are really easy for network marketing, and they're still prevalent to today, and they're simple read. You can read the whole thing in an hour or two. And then from there, he wants to thank Paul Oberson. Paul Oberson was our number 1 income earner in that company. Paul was making over $1 million a month we were doing that back in the 90s and early 2000. I mean, $1 million. And he was number one. I was number two incomer at that time. And then he went down and he says, I want to thank Al Thomas for being one of my most influential figures in my life and for teaching me the ropes about business over an occasional cigar, because we love our Cuban cigars. So who did I leave off at? Mr. Mills.
Oh, hey, you could have kept going. I love it. Just kind of going through it. Rest in peace for those that have passed on. But the one cool thing about this, one, he gives them their flowers. And some of them, they've seen their flowers before they were gone. I think that's such a great thing to acknowledge, where you got some of this wisdom, where you got some of this knowledge of how you did things. But not only that, but for some of these giants here, the legacy still lives on. So even though they did pass on, what they instilled in a couple of other different people, it keeps on going. So why not pass it on to other people, the things that That's what I love about books.
Yeah. He goes on, I'm on the other page, a dear friend of mine, Pops Scotty Popsicle. He's been on the channel before, for creating one of the best memories in my life. He also talks about, he goes on with Patrice and John Jones, who determined the power of faith. I go back all these lists of people. We were all together. That company grew faster than Microsoft. It's amazing as I go through. I'm picking out some other names in the book that are very powerful people that I really, really thank him for. So, and also to Bill Lyons, one of my other millionaires, Bill Lyons, for teaching me to passively pursue my dreams. And this list goes on and on. Chuck Hoover, another one who was instrumental in my life, another good gentleman. It goes on. There's so many people in there. And matter of fact, there's 4 or 5 pages just thinking. See, he has that gratitude, the attitude of gratitude. You got 3 pages here just thanking people. That's what a giver does. Miss Williams.
Not only does he go through and show his gratitude by thanking everybody, but he empowers what they gave to him. One of them who stretched him, one of them that taught him how to train because he was somewhat a comedian, and he just shares with us that not everybody, A, learns the same way, and B, keep it simple. And that comes through with many of these people that he talks about. Just keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it real simple. It's just a blessing. Yeah, as I go back through this book, and I go back in that era where we were just going for it. Just going for it. Miss Jackie Black.
What I find amazing is that each person, he thanks them individually for something that they gave to him. And it's an encouragement to me in terms of each person that has been in my life, in my network marketing career, to give thanks. Someone may say, be my cheerleader. You can do it, Jackie Black. Someone else may be, look, you have to buckle down a little bit more. Stop having so much fun. Everyone has their uniqueness, and he's acknowledging that in his book.
Big time. Miss Roxanne.
You already mentioned it. It's really important to have that attitude of gratitude, because if you have that attitude of gratitude, the more people are going to want to give and pour into you. And then just what he had mentioned about you, Mr. Thomas, is just being able to have those conversations over a cigar. That's one thing I do. I always said, when I actually first started network marketing, I said, whatever I got to do to be around that table, not even sit at the table, but just be around that table. And through the years, I've been able to sit at that table. And even though I'm not a cigar smoker, I hate being around it. I am still there with my phone in hand, hitting record and having these personal conversations, because that's where the growth happens. And a lot of people miss that. They think the growth happens just seeing people on stage, and it's being able to converse with them. And you can't converse with them unless you ask to be there. So that's one of my things that I always made sure I tried to do. And I see the relation with his connection. And with you, Mr. Thomas, I'm in Vegas, and I just messaged you, hey, you want to do lunch? Can we meet up? Whatever it is, I'm in Vegas. And it's just being able to have access to people like that, I'm truly grateful for.
Yeah. Well, thank you, dear. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, all these people, think about who does this. When was the last time any of you saw 1 page, 2 page 3 pages full of thank yous of people. I mean, he wrote, all these, at least about 110 names down of people, just even their names that blessed them. Go back to my channel. As a matter of fact, we'll put it out here. It's called The Tree of Life. I did a live called The Tree of Life. Your life and all these people he's thanking is like a tree with all the leaves on it. The leaves represent all the thousands of people you'll meet in your whole lifetime. You are the trunk, but all those leaves of people, and he's thanking a lot of these people here because that's what forms your life into who you are today. Mr. Harrison Mills.
You know, looking at all the names that are on here, it's not just the names, but each one that he did put on there, there's an action that goes along with it. So, you know, you let me dream big. You helped me to see. You showed me the fun. You showed me how to create. You let me see that things were possible. You know, those things are along with it. What was the other thing along with it is whenever you're in a depression or something, you're on a low totem pole, this is a great way to actually get out of that, is to write down some names of people that you are thankful for, that you are grateful for. And it looks like he just opened up his gratitude book. Like he has. Yeah. If you have not seen a gratitude book, you can go through these first 3 or 4 pages right here and show you this is how you can get out of that front that you're in, is just by writing out how many people have contributed to you.
Yeah, that's important. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to finally get into the main part of the book, chapter 1. This is so rich. All this is so rich. And a lot of people just zoom right by it and they go right to the reading the chapter, but they don't get to the prefix. There's so much richness in this. And that's why we're taking time today to go through it. So we finally got to page 1, Beach Money, chapter 1. And I'm going to go down to the second paragraph. I'm going to read that. Beach money means getting paid over and over again for the working one time. That's the power of residual income, folks. Beach money allows you to go to the beach for whenever you want to go and get paid whether you go to work or not. Beach money does not mean working hard for your money. Beach money does not mean beach money does not mean working smart for your money. It does not mean smart for your money. But it also included is 100% passive. And that's the beautiful thing of it. Once you build it, it's passive. You do it one time, like being a music artist or singing a song. You cut it one time. Anytime it goes anywhere in the world, you get paid royalties on it day in, day out, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, regardless. Miss Williams.
And you know, when I look at this paragraph, it's like, that's not the way we were taught to make money. We were taught work hard, work smarter, work hard, work smarter, work hard, work smarter. No, do it once and get paid over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It's a whole lot more sense.
Yeah, we were never taught this. We're taught go to school, check. Get a good education, check. Find a good job. No, it's not a good job. It's a job, check. Because they couldn't teach us something that they didn't know. We got to forgive our parents because they didn't know any better. And they did the best they could. So let's be honest. It's our job to seek out the information. That's what I did. I became a seeker. And I sought out the 1 billionaire, the 2nd billionaire, and 3rd. I was seeking for the knowledge because I wanted their lifestyle. And that's what I've got. Hey, I want to thank Mr. Cush up there, and greetings from Toronto, Canada. Thank you so much for tuning in today, sir. Appreciate you so much. Miss Jackie Black, your comments.
Yes, as was said, we're not taught this at home. We're not taught this even in college. I learned this from reading, from being around others that are doing the work one time and getting paid over and over again, the royalties, the passive income. And I often say, gee, if I had known about this way further back, but I'm just thankful for the opportunity of knowing about it now, and not just myself, but passing it on to my grandchildren and telling them, you know, don't just think you have to go to school, get a good job. No, passive income.
Yeah.
The income Nana's getting that you're going to be benefiting from.
Yeah, I love that when you talk about your grandkids a lot on a lot of the calls, because that means a lot to me, because you're passing it through the next generation, and they'll get that seed planted in them. Miss Roxanne Corleone, I want to go into this part. He says, I'm going to read this and let you comment on top of page 2. It's fun to know no matter what you're doing, you're getting paid. You're getting paid. You're getting paid when you're shopping. You're getting paid when you're in the movie theater. You're getting paid when you're at dinner with your friends. You're getting paid when you're golfing. You're getting paid when you're driving through the mountains. You're getting paid when you're wakeboarding. You're getting paid when you're sleeping. Imagine that each minute, a few coins are being deposited into your bank account. Matter of fact, Miss Roxanne, you can comment getting paid when you're on vacation on your birthday, out there in the water catching fish on the lake.
Yep. I mean, I've said it and I'll say it over and over again. Residual income or passive income ruined me. It ruined me because I will never go back to linear income before. And just like Miss Black had mentioned, I used to think like, man, if I would have known this before. But then I'm like, you know what? Everything's in God's timing. And I saw this exactly when I was meant to see it, because who knows, prior to that, I might not have been open. The timing might not have been right. I might not have taken the opportunity that I did when I saw it. But yes, I did celebrate my birthday out on the ocean, fishing and having a good old time. And guess what? I was making money because I have that passive income. And as an entrepreneur, I worked myself so hard that I burnt myself out. And I hear that from a lot of friends, that they just burn themselves out from working because we're taught to hustle. We're taught that's the way you make money. You got to hustle. You got to work hard. You always got to be working. And that's not the case. God wanted us to experience this beautiful world and our lives. And this is the one way that I choose to do it.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Mr. Harrison Mills. We can't hear you, sir. No, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Wow. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Okay. I said, isn't it fun? Just that word alone. Isn't it fun to make this kind of money doing whatever it is that you want to? Whatever it is, you're making money. Isn't it fun? That alone motivates me. Just knowing that I will work for that. That I will work for the fun part, the fun unlimited, as you call it.
You know what? While we got you, I want to go into this next part 10 with you, start with you. I want to kind of let you go on this. He said 5 years ago, he filled his calendar with coaching and showing the plan and his clients. And he said he built up such a large residual income to 6 figures a month. Oh, he's frozen again. Miss Kathleen Williams.
It's just sharing with others is highly important. And I'm sitting here looking at the comments that Kush is making in the chat. And I'm sitting here thinking, you are so right. If it hadn't been for what happened to him, and if he had let the naysayers discourage him, we wouldn't have one of the best books that I've ever read that has so simple to read.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that. Miss Jackie Black, hey, I want to thank Mr. Danny Payne up in Alberta, Canada. Thank you so much. Nothing like residual income. Thank you, sir. That's so true. Miss Jackie Black, you want to comment?
Yes. There's a part that says I wanted to make what would be to leverage my time. And most of my income is generated through the efforts of others. Again, this is something that we're not taught, but we're learning through examples, being around people that are doing this, as well as saying, gee, you could be living life, doing what you want to do and making money and helping others too.
Yeah.
And it's
improving.
It's tried and proven, but most of all, keeping that faith in God too. You can't just keep going and going. You have to have faith.
Yeah, that's so true. And you're getting paid to help others and building residual, and you helping others build residual. Ain't that's such a blessing? It's a win-win all the way around the board. Miss Roxanne Corleo, I want to go to the next. Oh God, I'll hear from Mr. Clemens later. I love it. He talked about number 11. He talked about the possibilities of no matter what your background, anybody can do this and it'll change your life forever if you work hard on a job or traditional business, but you still don't get a chance of getting paid residual based income.
Absolutely. So going back to when he didn't get a paycheck for 10 years, and most people would give up in that time span. But then he said it took him 5 years to start building up a 6-figure monthly income. If you guys didn't catch on to that, he said monthly, 6 figures a month. Would y'all put in 10 years to get paid 6 figures a month? Some people don't get that a whole year and have put 20, 30 years with their employer. So, I mean, sometimes it does take some time to build that, and most often cases it does. But most of the time, if you're running a job or you're that operator in your business who runs everything, you're on that get rich never plan. And I don't want to be on that plan anymore. So I love the fact that he goes into how long it took him, and then within 5 years, because of all the information that he gained and he put that into action, he was able to build something that he envisions. And the reason why most people will quit before they get there is because they're not truly envisioning that. They can't see it. They're not surrounding themselves with people that have it, so they don't think it's accessible for them.
That's a good answer. Wow, that was meaty and juicy. Loved it, Mr. Mills.
That was great. I'm gonna go back a little bit more on that. Let's say you like the idea of beach money, but you are not sure if it's for you because you don't know if you are capable of achieving it. And just thinking on that alone, even when I started this whole journey on it, thinking, what can I do? You know, what is it that I can do? Never know what it was, but that was the fun part about it, is actually learning something new. Going back to the 9 to 5, I know that very well, you know, and a lot of people do, and you want to stay in that comfortable spot. But what happens if you jump or if you leap, not just for yourselves, but for your children, or for something, for a bigger reason than yourself? You know, what can happen no matter what your background is?
Yeah, that's so true, sir. Thank you. Wow, no matter what your background. And he's talking about that in number 11, when we'll talk a little bit more there. He was talking about your bills don't ever stop. You can lose your job, you can lose your, you get ruined by a job, and you know what, you still got to pay your bills. However, if you did something, started off small, like when I talk about, I started with an hour a day, and then 2 or 3 hours, and then financial freedom. Well, you didn't have work anymore, but that's how I started. And he talked about the same thing here. Just get started, folks. Just start somewhere, and then have the stickability to stick with it. Because remember, even actors, people think they're overnight success. And a lot of times actors say, or actresses say, you don't see the 10 years that I put in here to get to where I'm at today. You don't see the struggle for those many years. And I think of a lot of those people. Miss Kathleen Williams, you want to comment on that?
Yeah, the idea of just living paycheck to paycheck, and when in reality there is more out there. But I go back to for a lot of us, nobody ever said this could be a reality. Investing in owning a laundromat, those kind of things. But with network marketing, you get true residual. With the others, yeah, you get residual income, but you also get the headaches that go with it sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I like to give people the definition of residuals. Residual means you do something one time and keep getting paid month after month, year after year, decade after decade. Just like real estate people, I get residuals. No, that's a commission. You only get it one time. If you got to repeat doing it, it's called a commission. Residual means you do it, you set it and go and let it go. And he talked about vending machines. He talked about people in real estate. He talked about people in laundromats. So look, at one point I had 54 properties. That's not residuals. It's an income. It's a commission, because if it's vacant, there's no money coming in. And people don't understand the differential of the two statements. Residual is something you do one time. I've got customers been getting paid on for decades, saw them once and that was it. Now think about that. That's the power of residual income. Miss Jackie Black?
How many of us have had the mentality of just getting by? Something to think about. Then you read Beach Money, you start looking about, there's different ways to create beach money, life, having beach money, doing what I want to do. As was said, you could purchase real estate, buy vending machines, or start a laundromat. But beach money will be well worth it, because once you've mastered it, you are financially free for the rest of your life.
That's right.
You're going to master having beach money. Or you just sit and wait for it to come, or you take an action, as was said earlier.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Read.
That's right.
Study people. Do.
Thank you, dear. Hey, I'd like to thank Sharon out there in Florida. I love my residual income. Thank you, dear, for your comment. I'm going to go to the bottom of page 3, the last paragraph, Miss Roxanne. It says, for the next few years, you can learn the art. I love that. The art of building and growing a business that creates beach money. There are tens of thousands of entrepreneurs who have built beach money incomes of 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, even 100,000 per month. Wow. Comment.
Absolutely. So in this industry, a lot of people will talk about the $1 million per month earners or the 100,000 per month earners. And yes, absolutely, those things are capable because we've seen people do that. But they forget to mention those 5,000 a month earners. Now we have so many more people that do that. And why is that considered beach money? It's considered beach money because it's still coming in no matter what. You spend it all the next month, you got 5,000 coming in. And for some people, that covers all their expenses. It covers their rent or mortgage and other bills that they have. They might be spending $5,000-$6,000 a month in bills. Now think about what you would do with your time if all your bills were covered. You didn't become that millionaire, but all your bills were covered. What could you do with your time? What could you do for your family?
Yeah, so true. Mr. Harrison Mills, I'm going to read the next paragraph there on page, second paragraph on page 4. It says, beach money sets you free on this earth. There's nothing else like it. And that's so true. I believe you always get what you focus in on and put your energy into. For years, I focused on making money in a job and working to increase my income by getting a raise or a better job. That sounds like 99% of the people around the world. He said, my financial growth was sluggish at best. You want to comment, sir?
Man, getting a raise or a better job, which means you got your nickel raise. Yay. And everyone congratulates you on your nickel that you just got on your, your raise. And not to hit on that, but just how even just in this industry, we don't parade on a decimal, but on a percentage. What if we said 5%, versus a nickel or 10%, those things. The other thing is that you said is, which I'm just hanging on every word, the art of building and growing a business that creates beach money, the art of it. Don't you want to do that? Consider yourself an artiste, not an artist, but an artiste.
That's why I love it. Thank you, sir. I'm going to go to page 5, the last paragraph on page 5, get rich quick / the slow way. And he talked about in 1980, he picked up a book at a garage sale for 25 cents. I had no past knowledge of the industry, although the thoughts and the ideas of getting paid from work from others sounded really appealing. Little did I know that the promise of wealth made in that 25-cent book would come full circle, and that 28 years later, I would be talking with a author's wife and expressing my gratitude. That little book gave me the foundation of a journey and ultimately led me to a passive income stream of over 1 million. Let's say again, 1 million per month. No, per year. That was getting, but it was a journey, and it did not happen overnight. Miss Williams.
And it is a journey. And yes, we're only on page 5, and he has referred to his journey and his lack of success, or what other people would define as his failures, because he didn't make money because too many people focus on your success with the dollar and cent sign, not what else it gives you. And the other thing as I was reading this, I thought, you never know what book you're going to pick up at a garage sale that's going to change your life. And that's what that book did for him.
Think about it. He paid a quarter for it. A quarter. People, there's knowledge in books. Do you realize you can read somebody's book? It could be 150 pages. It may have spent 30 years in their life. You can read it in less than a month and experience that it blows my mind. It's amazing. Miss Jackie Black, I'm going to move on to page 6. And he talked about he signed up in 1982. He signed up for his first network marketing company. That was nutrition, selling supplements and fish oils and things of that nature, smelling like fish. He said, and stuff to lose weight and all this. And he said it sounded good. And then 22 years old, he started marketing the idea of reading National Enquirer, saw something in the back of the book, an ad, and he ran for $400 and he tried different things to build his business. What did you get out of that?
As you see, Mr. Adler had a journey. He started with one network company, signed up for it. What happened? It sounded good to him. Did he make any money? No. Next, 22-year-old, marketing mind. He said he never saw a single check. We go through that journey as well in our network marketing career. I think of myself. I've tried products and I could look and say, gee, you're still here. They're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And also people saying, family, I told you so. And you get a little name. We'll see that later with Mr. Adler.
Yeah. Thank you, dear. Miss Roxanne, he talked about later down here in number 16, in the last quarter, half of the book. He said he was hooked. Sound like you. He said, but I was hooked. Go ahead, dear.
Absolutely. We're all made differently. We all think differently. And I'm the same way. I was hooked no matter what. So he talks about taking out $400 in 1982. $400 was a little bit more back then. And he took that out and he still didn't become successful, but he was already all over it. He was hooked. And that's kind of the same thing I think about, is that when I first saw a network marketing presentation, or my network marketing presentation, I stopped him in the middle and I said, stop talking, sign me up, like, let's go. And that was me. And I am shocked every time I share the information and it's not like that. But it's because not everybody's on our same wavelength, and that's okay. People move at their own speed and at their own pace. And so I'm kind of right there with him, is that I was hooked, but not everybody's going to be hooked, and they're all going to have their journey as well.
That's so true. And he tried all these other companies. None of them worked. He even tried that he was hooked. He was hooked on the 3D camera business. He said it was not for him, but he tried it. He tried this, he tried that, but he kept going. He didn't stop, folks. So you're not a failure. Just keep going. Don't stop. Try something that fits for you. And on page 7, the second paragraph, it said, I continue to read about network marketing. I beginning to learn. There's importance. He learned, right, what to look for a sponsor and in a company. Folks, it's so important. He kept going. He wanted to know. He wanted to know more about the industry. He read books, Big Al Schreiber book. He read and read to get better at it. Mr. Mills.
Same here. Not am I just hooked, but now I want to do everything. I want to dive in and see what makes you you. What am I going to be created? Everyone that I've seen in this industry they're almost known for something. And that's what I wanted to do. That's where I'm at, learning. I'm seeking to see what is it that, I can do to contribute to this industry, not just to the team, not just to the sponsors, but to the industry itself.
Good. That's good. That's rich. Let's jump over to page 9 to 19. Page 9. He said, by the time I went, he was spending 10 grand in startup fees and services for other companies he tried over years. But think about that. Most people are scared to spend a couple $100 to try something. Oh my God. Oh, yeah, and then never try something again. He invested over $10,000 in startup, but he kept going. That didn't work. I tried this. That didn't work. And then, some things cost him monthly charges. He still tried it out. But here again, he kept going until now he's the number one distributor in his company, the number one, but he kept going. Miss Kathleen Williams.
Yeah, and it goes on he talks about how he listened to personal development in his car all the time. It's like when I first started, that's how you got your education in network marketing. It was a car university because it was on DVDs and CDs and the like. It's still there, only it's now on our cell phone in the same way. And without that personal development, many people quit. Many people quit because they are afraid to have someone call them a failure.
Yeah, that's so true. Miss Black?
what I find with Mr. Adler is he has a dream, and he didn't let that dream die, and neither should we. When we have a dream of being successful, a dream of having a large passive residual income that would give him the freedom to travel, have fun, and play all over the world, we have that dream too. Don't let it die. Keep reading. Keep tuning into YouTube, tuning into all things business book reviews, other book reviews. Keep learning. Don't let this go. Every day you're learning something. I learned from Mr. Mills, Miss Corlejo, Miss Williams, and of course yourself, Mr. Thomas.
Thank you.
Mr. Clemens, so many people.
Yeah. I was telling a group of people this morning, they need to be on this call tonight. You can't help people unless they want help themselves. Miss Corlejo, now I'm going to go into this part here. He talks about, listen to this. This is amazing. He said, I probably have spent over $30,000 on my education. Ladies and gentlemen, 30,000? Yes. But look at him now. 30,000, Miss Roxanne.
30,000 is nothing. I spent that on my education. Mine took 4 years though, 4 years of college, and I got a degree to prove it. Am I working that degree? Absolutely not. And so many of us do spend that amount of money in our education, or have our parents do it, or whoever can provide that source for our education. And we forget to relate that when it comes to network marketing, people, dare I say, cheapen the value of it. And unfortunately, $10,000 is not a lot of money when you're an entrepreneur and in business. I talked to a general contractor earlier this week, and I asked him what his monthly expenses were, and he said $40,000 a month. That is just to keep his business running, is $40,000 a month. So 30,000, I mean, I did that.
Yeah.
Mine was with a degree though, where a lot of people are, they just don't, most people can't, they cheapen the value of network marketing and don't treat it as a normal education, where I think the education is worth far more than what I got in school.
Yeah. And what gets me now, kids are coming out of school spending that kind of money one semester, 30 times 4 years, with a piece of paper they can't get a job in, or there's no jobs in that position, or there's millions of people trying to apply for the same occupation. Blows my mind. He spent $30,000, he said, in boxes of products, brochures, audio tapes, books, and seminar flyers piling up in my little bedroom in Tempe, Arizona when he first got started. But then again, he invested in himself. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, the day you plant the seed doesn't mean the tree's going to grow tomorrow. You got to water it. You got to give it sunlight. You got to take care of it. You got to nourish it. And that's what he did. That's what he did. And periodically, he said he went to training and other trainings and more trainings and more trainings to learn and to get better at learning the business. So what's your comment, Mr. Mills?
Hey, 30,000, sign me up still. That's what I'm thinking. What is this, 1982? 30,000? That is nothing today. That's a piece of cake right now. So even just saying that, it's also saying this: 30,000 and failing. You know, usually when someone gets that, it's a degree, or something of some sense of the word. You've gotten something. But he's saying 30,000 and failing, which means this: he knows his worth. He's saying 30,000 is nothing. He probably would spend more on it because he knows his worth and he sees the dream and he's saying, I'm going for it. If I can just spend 30,000, now he's 6 figures a month. Talk about a drop in the bucket.
Oh yeah. I just talked to him last month. Was the best month ever.
Wow.
Miss Kathleen, I'm gonna go through this a little bit on top of page 10. He talked about his boss because he had a job working at was American West Airlines. I remember the top of my head. His boss said, hey Jordan, you need to get your head out of the clouds. No one makes money in those things. He said, my father hated that I was spending my money. That's how people are around us, because they don't see our vision, with those network marketing companies. He would tell me that I was being scammed, and it's a pyramid scheme, and focus on keeping a good job. And a year after the Thanksgiving table, me and my dad, they got into a shouting match. Told me to make his biggest mistake, and he slammed the door in his face and he walked out. Happy Thanksgiving, Miss Kathleen Williams.
And the thing is not only was his boss, it was his family. And it comes down to those people that are the closest to us, that many times are the people that don't understand our mindset and don't understand where we're coming from. And when you try to explain it, they figure it's a scheme or a scam.
Yeah.
And they don't get it, because those that are entrepreneurs come with a different mindset than the rest of the world.
Yeah, so true. They don't understand it because they only know one thing. They're not open to try something else. You know, where would we be today if Thomas Edison didn't keep going because he failed 1,877 times? Anyway, I'm going to go this part, Miss Jackie Black. I want to ask you this next paragraph. It says one time he was visiting his cousin in San Diego, and just before dinner, his mother pulled out a letter that he got from his mother in Chicago, explaining to him that watch out, you know, it's a house of cards that he's involved with. You know, word started traveling around the country, and that he was throwing his life away. All his relatives, he's throwing his life away. You know, as I sit here and talk to you, I'm thinking back now, his dad's so proud of him because his dad's kind of older gentleman in Chicago now. But guess what? I've heard that from a lot of successful people that I have in my friendships. Think about that. He sent a letter. Hey, talk to my son. He's coming there to have dinner. He's throwing his life away. Comment, Ms. Black.
Word travels fast. And as I was reading this part in the book, in the side, I put again. Again, he's hearing it from family members. Again, trying to discourage, but he still pressed forward. And that's what we need to do. Still press forward. Don't take it to heart what is being said. It may hurt, but it's family. I get it too.
Our biggest critics, whether you want to hear them or not, they're gonna give you their 2 cents.
What about 5 cents?
As they gripe about their job, Miss Roxanne.
Yes.
Well, you know, I just always think to myself, if I wouldn't trade positions with that person, then why would I listen to them? It doesn't matter, but if I wouldn't want that lifestyle, I want to follow the people with the lifestyles I want to have. And we're going to have those critics. But you know what? When we do make it, they're going to say at the end, I knew you could do it. You never give up. We're always going to have those cheerleaders that are going to, dare I say, support our failure or support our wins. Either way, they're going to jump on the bandwagon wherever we are.
That's so true. You know, I'm thinking back in my head as we're speaking on this. I thought of 3 people that I know personally that hit the top of their companies, and their saying is true here to them as well. And now they got the last laugh, and that's exactly what they're. Oh, I knew you could do it. Oh my God, let me play the recorder. Let's go back and show the videos. I remember one guy I remember Martin Cerruto was one. I remember this guy, the Filipino gentleman over in the Bay Area. His dad actually put him out. And actually built this business back in the day on a pager, at payphones, on the pagers, on a payphone, because the dad wouldn't allow him in the house, let him use it, and threw him out. I mean, I've heard all. Trust me, Mr. Mills, I'm gonna kind of round this up. It says, "I'll never give up on my dreams," and that's on page 10 and 11, and it talked about it, and then also ends on page 12. I want to encourage everybody out there to never give up on your dreams. Mr. Mills, what would you say to that?
There's several things I can say with it, especially when it comes to family, because they think they know you, or because they've seen you grow up, and they haven't seen you blossom, or those things. So I usually put on that song. What's the song? The Freaks Come Out at Night.
Yeah.
Freaks Come Out at Night. Yeah, I'll pull that out just for my own sake to let you know they're gonna come. People are going to talk, and if they're not talking, give them something to talk about. That's where I'm at. Now you're talking. Yes, I am. Uncle George is still Uncle George. He's still going to say what he's going to say, go off at the side of the mouth. Let him continue, with it. But if they're not talking, then you're not doing anything, That's
right. They always talk about successful people. I remember a while back, I was at a dinner at a restaurant. The people at the next table talked about me and didn't even know what I looked like. Listen, if you're not, look, they never talk about losers because they're already lost. They only talk about winners. They always talk about winners. They never talk about losers. Wow. So, and in real estate business, I tell Bob, I wasn't getting sued every 6 months, even though it might have been a frivolous lawsuit. They go at what they call deep pockets. That's conversations some other time. I was doing real estate in my real estate side of my things. Because why? That's what people do. They always got the low hang, Anyway, let's wrap this up. So, Ms. Williams, give us a synopsis of Never Giving Up on Your Dreams as a closing remark of what we read today.
Never giving up on your dreams is not what we're taught. We're taught not to fail. And my dreams, we're only into the second chapter, and my dreams keep drawing bigger and bigger because that's where I'm at. And like Miss Black said, if I'd seen this 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I wish I had. But I don't think I was mentally there to see it 10 or 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, dear. Thank you. Miss Jackie Black, comments in closing.
I would say never give up on your dreams or your reason why. Mr. Adler painted a picture of him sitting back and looking while he was on the beach, looking at the water, looking at the people. We can do the same thing, sit back and picture our reason why. Picture it being real to us, and what it would be like to have beach money.
There you go.
I could go on because right then my grandchildren came to mind.
Thank you.
Don't give up on your dreams.
Thank you. There you go. Miss Angelina in Fresno, thank you for tuning in. And Jacques in France, thank you for tuning in. Miss Roxanne, a few words in closing as well, dear.
Absolutely. If we give up on our dreams, that means we give up on our purpose. We're all here for a purpose. We all have these gifts, and these gifts aren't for us. They're to share with other people. So if you give up on your dreams, you're giving up on sharing your gifts with other people and therefore your purpose at the same time. So you're not only failing you, you're failing all the other people whose lives you could have impacted.
Perfect. Wow, that's so true. Lives, it's like throwing that little pebble in the lake and watch the ripple effect. The lives you'll change, and they're changed. Love it. Mr. Harrison Mills, in closing.
Be a dreamer. Be a dreamer. Be a dreamer. Be a dreamer. I'm going to say it again. Be a dreamer. And the reason why I say that is so many people give up on their dreams because you get knocked down. Someone tapped you and say, hey, that's not you. Hey, you can't do it. To the point where now you're working your 9 to 5, not hitting against 9 to 5, but you're working it and you've basically shot your dreams down, the things, the aspirations you have. And I'm saying, awaken back up anew. There is actually another way. There's actually a place for you actually to move. As Mr. Jordan Adler says at the very end of this, he grabbed his coffee and continued walking along the beach. Meaning this, he made it. He continued going. He got through all the fluff and got there. And I'm saying if it can happen for one person, it can definitely happen for you. It can definitely happen for me. Yeah.
And folks on the channel and watching, go back to the channel here on the channel, and there's the episode of Mr. Jordan Allen and I flying around Vegas a couple of months ago with the doors off the helicopter, and we were flying out. We fly out a lot of times from Vegas, go up to Pahrump at the winery, have lunch, and get on the helicopter and fly back. So go in there. I think you'll love that episode. It's on the other side of this. So thank you all. Listen, I want to thank everybody tonight from around the world tuning in. We'll be back next week, the same time again for the other chapters. We'll be doing chapter 3, 4, 5, and 6, I believe, next week, same time. Tune in, put it on your schedule. Hey, I want to thank my guest speakers today. I want to thank you. And I want to thank Miss Kathleen Williams out there from Sacramento, Miss Jackie Black. Thank you so much from Connecticut. Miss Roxanne Corleo, thank you so much. From what part of Texas are you in today?
San Antonio.
San Antonio. I'll see you this weekend. As well as Mr. Harrison Mills out of Fresno, California. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you from around the world. Thank them for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Thank you so much. All Things Business Book Review Club. We want to thank you all. And if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Please leave a comment. And also thumbs up and send this out to several people. Let them take advantage of this. And also go pick up the books and read them. It'll bless your life. With that, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Take care. God bless. And as always, we'll see you at the top.